Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you a quick way to clean up messy blended photos on pattern paper in Photoshop. If you love using blend modes like darker color, darken, multiply, or even soft light and overlay to blend photos into pattern papers, you've probably seen little messy areas show through that you don't really want. I will show you an easy way to clean those up so your blended photos look great and intentional instead of spotty and distracting. Here is what my page looked like before. You can see these little dark bits and odd shapes showing through the photo, especially on the face. And here is the after. Same blend mode, but with all those messy areas nicely cleaned up so the focus stay on the photo. I'll be working in Photoshop, but you can use the same basic cleanup ideas in Photoshop Elements with tools like the clone stamp. By the end of this tutorial, you will know exactly how to tidy up your blended photos on pattern paper in just a few simple steps without losing that pretty blended effect. Alright friend, let's get started. First, open up the project you want to clean up. Here I have my photo blended onto pattern paper using the darker color blend mode. You can absolutely experiment with other blend modes like darken, multiply, or even color burn to see what looks best with your photo and your paper. Next, let's set up a safe layer to work on. In the Layers panel, click the Create a New Layer icon. We're going to do all of our cleanup on this new blank layer so the original photo stays untouched. That way, if you don't like something or make a mistake, you can just delete this cleanup layer and your photo is still perfectly fine. Now, we'll choose the tool and brush settings. In the toolbar, grab the clone stamp tool or just press letter S on your keyboard. Open the brush preset picker menu and choose a soft round brush. I'm going to start with a brush size of about 25 pixels with the mode set to normal. For the opacity, I'll set it somewhere between 50 and 70% to start. You can adjust depending on how big or strong the spots are that you are trying to clean up. So to change your brush size quickly, use the bracket keys on your keyboard. Press the right bracket key to make the brush bigger and left bracket key to make it smaller. And then in the options bar at the top, make sure aligned is checked and set sample to sample all layers. This tells Photoshop to sample from your photo, but paint on that new separate layer we just created. Now we are ready to start cleaning up those messy areas. Alright, now let's start actually cleaning up those messy areas with the clone stamp tool. First, let's zoom in so we can really see what we're doing. Press the letter Z on your keyboard to get the zoom tool. Then click and drag to the right to zoom in. To zoom back out, click and drag to the left. You can also use the keyboard shortcut, press Ctrl plus, or if you're using Mac, press Command plus a few times to zoom in, and press Ctrl minus, and if you're using a Mac, press Command minus to zoom back out. To see your whole canvas again, press Ctrl 0, Mac Command 0. To move around your page while you're zoomed in, hold down the space bar, then click and drag with your mouse to pan to the area you'd like to work on. Now let's get back to the clone stamp tool. Press the letter S on your keyboard to select the stamp tool again. Next, we're going to choose an area to sample from. Hold down the Alt key on a window or the Option key on a Mac and click on a clean area that is as close as possible to the spot you want to fix. Then release the Alt or Option key. Sampling from nearby clean area helps make sure the color and texture are really good match for the area you are cleaning up. Once you've sampled, Move your cursor over the messy spot and simply click to paint with the clone stamp tool. You will see those dark, messy bits start to disappear, while the rest of your blended photo and pattern paper stay nice and soft. You can keep resampling as you go. Just hold Alt or Option and click on another clean area whenever you need a better match. One quick tip: I get better result with the clone stamp tool when I use single clicks instead of clicking and dragging. And if you want to undo, press Ctrl Z, Mac Command Z to undo. And remember to not drag, just keep the click on the area. To fine-tune your cleanup and to check the before and after, first keep working your way around the photo. Use the spacebar to pan to different areas on your page. And anytime you see a messy dark spot or something that looks distracting, use the clone stamp tool to clean it up. Press the Alt or Option and click to sample, then paint over the area. And again, if you ever feel like you've gone too far, don't worry, just press Ctrl or Command Z to undo your last step. Now, once you've cleaned up most of the obvious spots, let's zoom out and see the bigger picture. This helps you see how everything looks at a more natural viewing size. All right, I'm going to press Ctrl 0, Mac Command 0 to fit the whole canvas on the screen. That looks pretty good. All right, I still have some areas need to clean up, so I'll just press letter Z and then zoom back in and clean up this area right here. I will just clean up a little bit right here. Just clean up right here a little bit. So here in the layers panel, find that cleanup layer we created earlier, the one above your blended photo. Click the little eye icon next to it to turn it on and off. With the eye turned off, you're looking at the before, the original messy blend. Turn the eye back on, and that's your after with the cleanup applied. Toggling that eye icon a few times is a great way to check your work. Ask yourself, does it still look soft and blended? Did I keep the natural texture of the paper and the photo? Are there any areas that look too smudge or too obvious? If something looks a bit too strong, you have a couple of easy options. One, you can lower the opacity of your cleanup layer. With the cleanup layer selected, go up to the opacity slider in the layers panel and drag it down a little bit, maybe to around 80% or 70%. That will gently soften all of your cleanup so it blends in more naturally. Or two, you can erase just a little bit of your cleanup. Make sure you are on the cleanup layer and grab the eraser tool. Choose a soft, round brush and very lightly erase where you think you did too much. And then you can always switch back to the clone stamp and reapply if needed. When you are happy with it, Do one last quick zoom in, check on a couple of areas, then zoom back out and toggle that eye icon one more time to enjoy your before and after. It's a small change, but it makes a big difference in how polished your blended photo looks on pattern paper. And here is what the paper and the blended photo look like after I clean up even more. So the key is to be patient and see until you like what you see. Now that we've cleaned up those messy spots, here's how the full layout looks. You can see how much better the photo blends in without those distracting little bits showing through on the face. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you feel more confident cleaning up those tricky areas after using blend modes on your photos. A big shout out to Mystery Scraps for suggesting I turn this cleanup trick into a beginner-friendly tutorial. Thank you for the great idea. Please check the description box for the materials I used to create this layout. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like more digital scrapbooking tutorials in Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. Let me know in the comments which blend mode you like to use on pattern paper and whether this cleanup step made a difference on your pages. And if you enjoyed creating your own elements, keep an eye out for my next tutorial. We'll be building a custom snowflake in Photoshop and even turning it into a brush you can reuse on your scrapbook pages. Thanks again for watching and keep on scrapping. Bye for now.